Welcome to Uncaged. Today we're speaking with Corrado Summaria. Corrado is the founder and CEO of Ubique Network. We're going to be talking about what Ubique Network does. They are a startup growth accelerator, and they specialize in serving really early stage tech startups, reaching that growth marketing curve and the goals that those companies have. So Corrado is really building quite an interesting business here. But before we get into Ubique Network, Corrado, tell us a little bit about your story and your career.
Hello, Ben. Thank you. Happy to be here. So my story goes quite back on the other side of the continent, but I was born and raised in Italy, and I played tennis my whole life. I'll try to keep it short. And after a professional career, I decided to come to college, and the college was in Malibu. It's Pepperdine University, from where I graduated in 2022. And ever since graduation, I always wondered. I always wanted to start something that I was passionate about, and Ubique Network became that dream and passionate goal that I followed. So I've been working on Ubique Network since October 2022, and as of today, it's been a beautiful journey, a roller coaster, up and downs. But I'm happy to be where I am, and I think that my past, I call it life, as a tennis player, taught me a lot that can be applied to business in terms of discipline, motivation, and goals, or even just like resilience. It's a word I try to keep in mind every day.
That's amazing. I mean, Corrado, coming from Italy, now you're based on the West Coast. What a beautiful place to go to university, in Malibu. Of all places, probably the most beautiful place. But Corrado, tell me a little bit more about Ubique Network. I'm really interested in thinking about really what is available for early stage companies and how they can really kind of get themselves to the next level.
The goal of Ubique Network is, of course, to help early stage tech companies to establish a presence in the marketplace. And the target audience of these companies is a Gen Z audience, and we identify the biggest opportunity in the marketplace to be within a college student demographics. And what we do at Ubique Network is we provide the connection between with this audience through college marketing operations. So everything that can happen in a marketing and growth perspective in college, in US colleges, we manage, provide, and fulfill those needs and services for these companies. But Brent, I like to say that the real mission of Ubique Network is, yes, to fulfill the client's needs on one side, but is to empower and grow the community of college students on campus. And we identify them and call them ambassadors of Ubique Network. And these are individuals that, like me back in the days, felt the desire to start building their resume and start wanting to make experiences in an industry that they are passionate about. That can be fashion, that can be social networking, that can be entertainment or food industry, and so on. So students that have that desire to start building and making experiences in the workplace are the core engine of Ubique Network.
I mean, for you, Corrado, it's a really interesting business group that you've brought together here. What was the trigger? What started you thinking, hey, maybe I could build something like Ubique Network?
Yeah, so definitely my own story, my own experience. What yeah, when I was a junior in college, I had the chance to start working with an early stage tech company. It was called Be Real, and some of you might know about it today. But when they came to the US, we had roughly above 10,000 active users in the US. And since day one of US operations, there was it was a challenging time for the company to aim for the growth that they envisioned. But the company had a clear mission and vision on how this growth marketing strategy could lead to success in the future, and an ambassador program was definitely one of them. And I started as a simple ambassador for my university, and scale to more executive position in a short period of time. And of course that inspired me. I love the hustle. I love the process, and I learned a lot. So that was the start of something challenging but
Yeah.
beautiful at the same time. And that's definitely what the reason why I started Ubique Network, with the idea in mind that there might be some other people out there with the same inner desire as me, and I want to provide them the same opportunities that I was offered, and I was so eager to take and make the most out of it.
Yeah. And Corrado, I mean, I think it's really interesting because you have in some ways, a front row seat on what's on the minds of early stage founders as they get going, as well as the broader ecosystem that they find themselves as part of. What's your take on where we are right now? What's really top of mind for these early stage founders right now?
So depending, of course, on the industry and the product feature, the specifics of the mobile app, one thing that brings everyone, let's say, on the same wave is for sure our generation, the Gen Z generation, is more wants more authenticity and wants to establish more genuine connections. Is tending to stay more away of traditional, let's say, social media, and what was once, I don't know, TikTok and Instagram has been, yes, decision making and a biggest influence in everyone's life, and it still is. But there is a hope or desire of our generations to shift to something more authentic, real, genuine, that
Mhm.
that doesn't put so much pressure in how we want to be seen from others, and we can just be ourselves and tap into more meaningful things. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that that's a really good, I'd say, description of that Gen Z mindset and how they're thinking about some of these digital channels. When they're starting up businesses, do you find that there are particular problems that they're encountering? Like, is it harder for them to raise money or easier? What's the state of play there?
W- with the right product, uh, you might have a chance to, of course, accomplish big things. But I've seen it from the inside of a company, and of the companies I was lucky to work with, that is not only in the, let's say, in the product itself that relies the possibilities of success. You also need to work on so many different things and make make a real effort to find a mission that drives that can drive masses and appeal to a lot, hundreds of thousands or millions of users, if you want to make the impact to fulfill, the goals of and the mission of your company. So I think one of the main important things is the possibility or the chances that your company has to scale. And with scale, of course, I mean also growth. And in my industry, in this industry, the user acquisition is probably the more, let's say, precise way of defining if a company is growing, and if there are being, let's say, improvements and advantages in the marketplace. So ways to scale and ways to grow through user acquisition strategies, and keeping the cost per user acquisition under control is probably the biggest challenge to then go to the next level.
I get it. You're absolutely right. I'd say also just retaining those customers too. One of the things that really hit me was I was reviewing the statistics related to the launch of Threads, and the ability to sign up over 100 million in, I think it was like 7 or 8 days, was unbelievable. But then I think they lost most of the audience almost immediately. So it's from an active users basis. So it's such a fascinating thing now. I think that's the first time I've ever seen the growth as well as the drop in such a short period of time. It's quite incredible. But, Corrado, you've done a lot of very interesting things. You're from the part of the world that everyone dreams about, Italy. When you were growing up, I mean, it's interesting to see that you've ended up as an entrepreneur. Why is it you think that you've gravitated to this area? Is this a passion?
Yeah. Thank you for tapping into that, Ben. Sometimes I ask that question to myself, and I don't have a clear answer for it, but other than the desire to do some good for other people, and find ways to grow myself throughout the process. And I thought that the life experience that I had was could be, maybe inspiring and motivating for a lot of other college students out there. And I'm just trying to, show that hopefully, if I can do it, then you can as well. And I came in 2019 in January to Pepperdine without. With English being my fourth language, and without a proper, let's say, preparation or education to college. And I was, able to graduate almost with honors, with a 3.3 GPA, which is, okay for normal standard, nothing exceptional, but I had to catch up with the competition, and that wasn't easy. And then I, tapped into this huge industry, and now I'm making good experiences and connections that help me grow personally and improve my skills, and I'm part of an ecosystem that is bigger than me by a lot, and I've earned the respect or consideration of a lot of incredibly successful people just by working hard and by staying disciplined and trying to improve myself every day.
I think you have a great, a differentiating perspective on things, because you grew up in Europe and you've now come to the West Coast of the US. When you think about kind of the entrepreneurial scene or situation in Europe versus the US, what are the differences that you see?
I wish, Ben, I had an answer for you. Unfortunately, I have not seen the entrepreneurial world or scene in Europe, because I've spent the last four years here in the US, but
Yeah.
from what I've heard is it's challenging the same way it's here, but the culture of the countries in Europe sometimes affect and make the ride more, some would say, enjoyable or relaxing, just for how you live the let's say off-duty time or free time, or and which is a bit less frenetic and dynamic than the US, and more focused on, let's have a good meal, let's have a good dinner tonight. And that's something very Italian of me, that I try to keep every once in a while, but cannot really tap too much into that.
Well, don't lose that part of your background for sure. But I mean, Corrado, here we are going into another university year. I know that I'm actually going to drop my younger son off at university next week. So schools are starting to come back into play here. What's on the docket for Ubique Network for the rest of this year and going into next year?
So internally at Ubique Network, we have just completed the summer IMC internship for some students. We had 5 interns throughout the summer for a period of 12 weeks, and we have open applications for the fall 2023 internship, also in IMC, and IMC integrated marketing communication for so we are hoping to get some good new candidates to help us manage the programs and learn from the inside what happens and how everything is tied together. But for the more exciting part is, I mean, they're both exciting, is what the partners, the companies that I'm working with, and it's Teleport and Teaser AI. They are both incredibly exciting companies with a background of founders that have already accomplished and a lot of things, a lot more than me. And Teleport is also closing its ambassador application, college applications, on August 31st, and so is Teaser AI. So we are really close to the date where the ball will start rolling, and where young entrepreneurs, college students can apply and start taking matter into their own hands and choose how they plan on spending this fall semester. So of course, I encourage everyone to check out these companies. Teleport, for anyone who's interested in the fashion industry, is a sustainable company that aims to make thrifting more easy and fun. And we define Teleport as if TikTok and Depop had a baby. I think that's a very fun and clear way of giving a picture of what it is. And we have Teaser AI, which is was started not too long ago from the ex-CEO and founder of Dispo, another very I think famous social media loved by Gen Z for a long period, still is. And Teaser AI aims to make dating more fun, but also less time consuming, bringing AI into the game and tapping into the, let's say, AI generative conversation, and make the game more fun, and speed up the process. So yeah, again, if anyone loves social networking and also the dating industry, then we have the right opportunities for you.
Great. Well, Corrado, if someone wanted to learn more about Ubique Network and what you and the team are up to, where's the best place to reach you?
For sure, through the website on and on email. All the necessary contact information of me and my team can be found on the website. I also encourage to sign up to the newsletter so you can stay updated on the relevant updates coming every week. And social media, of course, is also always a good way to stay in touch. And our LinkedIn page and my personal LinkedIn page, I try to keep that updated and with relevant and current opportunities and updates on progresses and future goals.
Great. Well, Corrado, it's been amazing to hear the story of really how you got Ubique Network going, some of the amazing companies that you're already working with for sure. And really, I'd say the next steps for expanding the activities. We've been speaking with Corrado Summaria. He is the founder and CEO of Ubique Network. He has talked to us today about really the range of new companies that are coming out for the Gen Z focused audiences, their different approach to things like social media, and really the demands that they focus on, which is based on this conversation seems like growth, like finding ways to build those networks quickly, efficiently, and then obviously to keep them engaged. Corrado, thank you so much for being on Uncaged today, and we look forward to having you back.
Thank you, and it was a pleasure meeting you.